This is why you should read Something Wilder by Christina Lauren.
Hi Raindrops, so this is Future Desiree just coming in here to tell you a potential spoiler warning. So I just want to say that while I do not give like specific and or detailed spoilers in this video, like revealing the plot twist, the end, the climax, the big moments, all that stuff, I do talk about more than just the synopsis, which is the blurb that is written at the back of the book. So I did my best to keep this review as spoiler free as I could while still giving you a good idea of how amazing this book is, like giving you more detail than just the synopsis, because apparently the synopsis does not do it for a lot of people, and this book is so much more than just that. So that's just like your little warning. If you want to read this book with like no additional knowledge or like going in blindly, I really recommend that you skip this review just for the sake of like not getting any like hint or spoiler whatsoever. But if you don't mind getting a little bit more detail than just the synopsis, keep on watching because this is one of my absolute favorite books now, and I think I can convince you to read it.
Hey, my little raindrops. I just finished reading this, and I had an urge to just rant about it because I I am left speechless at how good this was. Let me tell you why. This is Christina Lauren's newest release. Just to give you a bit of a background, basically, Lily is the daughter of this super popular, like, treasure hunter. Like, he's been on the cover of National Geographics and stuff. Like, he was super well known. They owned a ranch when she was 19, and then this city boy, Leo, came to the ranch to work. And they fell in love. She was 19, he was 22. They were absolutely in love for 5 months. And then Leo gets a call that his mom was in an accident, so he has to go back to New York. And then a bunch of unfortunate events happen that lead to him never coming back, because he had promised Lily that he would come back and he would stay with her forever. And they were so in love, and he never came back. And I won't tell you what happened, what the miscommunication was, but just know that it gets cleared up relatively early in the book. And it's and so Lily wanted to keep the ranch, but her father sold it. And so now she's almost 30, and the way like her life is being a tour guide for treasure hunts. Basically, tourists go there and they go on a fake treasure hunt. Like she stages stuff. And one day, her friend Nicole, she comes and she's like, she has a letter, and Lily wrestles for it and she gets it. And it's a letter from the new owner of the ranch. Duke had sold the ranch like when she was 19, 20, and now she's, like I said, she's almost 30, and she gets a letter from this guy, and he's like, I want to take my retreat, and I'm going to sell the ranch, and I want to give you the first chance to get it. But she hardly has any money, so she can't buy it. But it's her entire dream of having this ranch and making it into like a kind of a hotel and having her horses and all that stuff. She's trying to figure out a way to get enough money to get the ranch, but she doesn't know how. And then the next day, she has a group of tourists that, signed up for this treasure hunting thing. And who is one of the four men? Her first true love. Leo has never stopped loving her. Never. Like, he thought he'd stopped, but when he sees her, he's just like, holy. And the entire time, like, she's trying to ignore him. They can't possibly ignore each other. And it's in the third person, but it's kind of like dual point of view, but in third person. And you get to see him this entire time how he is determined to never losing her again. He is determined to never going back to New York. He is ready to do anything to stay with her. She's harder to convince. Lily is the funniest character. She's so like, she is the independent woman character. Like, she is the main character, okay? Then something happens. This one guy in the group, he wasn't supposed to be there, and he's a douchebag, okay? Like, every possible like definition of douchebag is him. He is like the emblem of douchebagness. And anyway, something happens that he is not in the group anymore because he did something which led to like a revelation. And so something happens to like give a hint to Lily that the big like super mega big treasure that her father had been looking for his entire life, that he might have actually found it and that he has hidden it. And so she's determined to find it because it is worth approximately $15 million. And she needs that money to buy her ranch. And Leo is even more determined to help her get that money because he wants her to buy the ranch so that they can live happily ever after together on the ranch. And so they embark in this crazy journey. If you've ever read anything by Christina Lauren, you know that they don't write like type of adventure or action-ish type stuff. They write like office romances or like childhood best friends to lovers. This is like Indiana Jones met Christina and Lauren and they wrote a book together. Like, that is it. There's treasure hunting, there are horses, it is hilarious. It is a second chance romance. It gave so much Love in Other Words vibes, except it wasn't exactly as emotional as Love in Other Words. It was more like, it wasn't not emotional, because I mean you saw how I got emotional at this. Just like, I had to sit down and record a video about this, okay? I love this with my entire being. But it's not as emotional as Love in Other Words, but it gave like the same vibes, like Macy and Elliot, Lily and Leo. Basically, like, they haven't seen each other in 10 years. They still love each other very, very much. The minute he sees her, in his mind, he has dropped everything. He doesn't care what's gonna happen. He knows with his entire being that he is staying in the desert with her until he can possibly win her over again, because he is never losing her again. He cannot. He physically, mentally, entire beingly cannot lose her again. That's how much he loves her. It's perfectly Christina Lauren. You will cackle, okay? The group that Leo is with is like his best friends, and they always do this, like they always go on a trip every year. And it was Bradley's turn to choose where they went. And there's this guy, Walter. He's the sweetest, most kind, most adorable man that I have ever read in my entire life. I've been reading since I was, 8 years old? Even before. I've read for more than a decade, and he's the cutest man. Like, he's so sweet, he is so adorable. Wait, do I have, like... Okay, I'll just read, like, a random line here. "Works for me," she said with an easy shrug, and Walter gave him a sweet yay as Bradley took his seat. This man goes, yay! It's so beautiful. And then the ending is so, like, oh my god. I am left speechless, honestly. Like, I don't want it to be over. If Christina Lauren sees this, like, if ever, I would sell every single one of my limbs to get this book signed by them. It would mean the entire world to me, but I live in Canada, so there aren't any, like, book signing events, unfortunately. You can hear my voice shaking. I'm getting emotional over this. I want a tattoo to represent this. I'm not sure what yet. Like, I'm not sure if I would like to get a quote or maybe, like, a sunset. Christina and Lauren, you are my idols, and I love you. There is a reason why any book that these two ladies write, I will buy the day it launches, without hesitation, without a second thought. Why is it over? I don't want it to be over. Like, I know I still have a bunch of their books to read, but when's the next time they're gonna publish? It was so good. Anyways, I literally just sat down to film like a 10-minute video just to tell you that you need to read this. What else could I say about it? The writing is fantastic. All the characters, they make their characters so well because you love the characters that you should love and you hate the characters that you should hate. And guys, the amount of plot twists in here is godly, okay? Ma'ams, why did you take so long to write this kind of romance? I don't know why they've never written anything like very adventurous like this before, because they are so good at it. They are so good at it. It's insane. And what I love so much at the end in the acknowledgments, this is the 4th book, I believe, that they thank BTS in their acknowledgments. They say it here: we thank BTS in 3 of our books so far, and our gratitude seems to grow daily. If you've never been part of a fandom, and especially if you've never been ARMY, it might seem impossible that people you've never met can mean so much. I'm getting a BTS tattoo this summer, so that's I know, like, okay, fun fact, I've been in ARMY since 2016, and I kind of fell out of it when I started university. Like, I was devoted to them my entire time in high school, and not that I don't love them as much now, it's just that I'm not as devoted, and I miss that so much because I miss them, because those those boys, well, men, brought me so much joy in the times that I needed it the most. And their music now is such a source of comfort. And when they say this, how people that you've never met before can, like, mean this much to you, I've never related more to anything in my entire life. And so that's what they say. And then they say, but they can be the difference between a bad day and a good one, a hard year and a one full of connection and hope. I'm getting hot here. I've cried enough for a day, honestly. Okay, and this will make you love a new trope. You know how, like, only one bed? Only one sleeping bag. Only one tent. And they are alone. It's so good. It's so good. And, like, especially for someone who has read their stuff before and has read a lot of their stuff before, to read this without knowing what I was getting in, and the synopsis gives you like a pretty basic idea of what it is, but it leaves everything out. Like, it just says, like, her background, his background, their background, and what happens, like, they meet again and then they hunt the treasure. It really just says the basics, and then you read this and you're just taken on an entire different galaxy than what you thought you were going to be reading. Like, never mind a different train or a different city, or no, like a different galaxy or a different, I don't know, universe, multiverse, existence. There's dust flying across the camera. Well, that's entertaining. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I really want to force you, well, I don't want to force you, but if I could influence you to read this, I will be so happy. Please, 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 like, you would be doing yourself a favor. I'm not kidding, okay? This was so good. And I felt like I was so close to hitting a reading slump. This month has been really slow for me. Like, in April, I read 12 books, and this was, what, my 4th book of the month. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that I was kind of used to reading more. And after reading this, like, I want to read every single book on my shelf. I'm so motivated. I'm starting another book tonight, and I think I'm gonna, like, power through it. But I would get the book cover tattooed on my forehead. That's how much I love it. I'm not kidding. I know that, like, I personally never truly, like, planned on doing, like, single book reviews, but this was a necessity. It was a necessity. So do we like this? Do we like the single book reviews? Because I can definitely keep doing them. I will keep recording them. Every single time I finish a book, I will record it, and if you guys respond to this in an interesting way, then I will keep posting them. But anyways, a bazillion stars, the entire Milky Way out of 5. Best purchase of the year. I know that I keep saying that Archer's Voice is my favorite, and now I've been saying that Alone with You in the Ether is my favorite. And like they are, but this, oh god. It's like Alone with You in the Ether and Archer's Voice are super emotional and like they get into your psyche type stuff. And this gets into your heart. Do you get what I mean? I think it makes sense. Like, this just made me feel so happy. So, like, I felt like a hug. Like, this just, even in the sad or like unexpected and like dangerous moments, because there are dangerous moments in here, it will leave you like, you'll be, you won't be breathing, okay? This leaves you breathless. This leaves you holding your breath. This leaves you like falling off your chair or falling off your bed. Or I also recorded a read with me of this. I will probably post it after I end up posting this one. I don't know, but either way, you will see me react at their first kiss. It's almost embarrassing. I almost fling myself off the bed. But it's so funny. I literally, like, I almost fell off the bed. And that was their first kiss. And anyways, that was it. That was all. I have to get going because I chose to read this instead of writing a reflection. So I'm gonna go study. This is so fun. I can just like put my phone there and just rant about my book, and then I can post it, and it's a review. It's sharing with the world how good this was. Now go buy it. Right now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my rant. Make sure to subscribe and click that little bell button if you want to, you know, be notified whenever I do rant some more, or like maybe, I don't know, post some other bookish content that you might like. That is it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one.